All right, Chris, Macy's last Thursday revealed the first 66 locations that it plans to close as part of its plans announced nearly a year ago to shutter about 150 stores. According to Retail Dive, the 66 locations span 22 states and many are mall anchor locations. Several are also standalone furniture stores that in some cases will shift operations to nearby full line stores. Department store is closing four of its 24 small format stores, a shift from the acceleration of small format openings announced in 2023. Six out of the nine of the retailer's freestanding off-price backstage locations will also close. Chris, are
Mhm.
you surprised at all by the details surrounding Macy's store closure news? I think I might know the answer to this.
Yeah, I think I am. I am somewhat surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not like on the shocked level. Like if 1 through 10, if 10 was shocked, I'm probably like a 5 here. Like I'm surprised that this is what they're saying because particularly that it looks like it's an about face on their small format stores, and like it's
hmm
100% it's about face. And I think that about face is important to call out for two reasons. First, we visited these stores in Texas, I think one of which is closing now, if I'm not mistaken, from reading the article. Um, and we were not impressed. In fact, I
yeah.
think my joke at the end of that video tour was if it walks like a Macy's and quacks like a Macy's, it's still a Macy's.
hmm
Because, and I still, for the life of me, can't understand why the world needs a scaled down Macy's. I've just never bought into that idea. So that's why I'm kind of not surprised by this headline.
Sure,
But
sure.
then, two, and this is the more important point here, it tells me that they don't have a new path to growth upon which they can rely with any great
hmm
certainty right now. And that
hmm
is that is freaking scary, I think. Everything they've been telling the media and the analyst community could soon blow up in their face. And while Macy's, here's the other point. While Macy's is reporting supposedly good news about their bold new chapter strategy in their
hmm
50 stores. Like, I'm always skeptical when I hear about 50 store tests because the entire executive team is rallied around those. The entire store operations team is rallied around those. They're
A
getting
really
the
good
resources
point.
to be successful. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they're going to work in the short term, but at some point, those types of pilots revert back to the mean. And so
Right.
that's why I'm just like, wow, I don't see you got a lot here going on, Tony Spring. And so I'm very skeptical again about your growth trajectory and whether department stores are still going to exist.
Yeah,
But what do you think? Do you
it's
sound
like
like
having 50 flagship stores, right? Like
it is? It
you're
is. I mean, it is.
yeah,
That's the thing. If you know retail like we do, like yes, these are going to be successful because
yeah.
by crook or by nook or whatever the hell the expression is, Tony Spring's going to make sure that's not right. I know, but by hook or by crook, that's what the
By
right
hook or
expression
by
is.
crook.
Yeah, right. Tony Spring is going to make sure that these things work because his reputation depends on it, right?
hmm
So yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah, it
it sounded
diverts
like you had
media
a different
attention.
opinion.
It diverts
Yeah.
media attention. I mean, no, I guess my whole point is that I actually think this is the most sensible thing that they can do. I mean, I think that what Tony Spring is doing is
Yeah.
trimming the fat here. Like this is just Macy's is making sensible moves about, you gotta start shutting some of these down because they're having a huge impact on the bottom line. And our sources that we've talked to at Macy's, like it was mentioned in the article, like a lot of these malls are the only like the only store that's still in a dead or dying mall, and no
Right.
one's going to come there. There's no other reasons to get them there, so it just
Right.
doesn't make sense. It's a bad experience because, like I think you said in a conversation we were having here, like there's nobody that wants to work there. Like it's a bad experience. It's souring your experience with the brand immediately. So I think that it makes sense. And honestly, Chris, I kind of give them kudos for shutting down these small format stores because I think a lot of other
Yeah. I mean,
retailers
yeah.
would have
Yeah. Would have
kept
stuck to their
going. I
guns.
think they
Yeah.
would have tried to push it, and you're 100% right. Like small format Macy's, I don't hate the idea, but it can't just be Macy's shoved into a smaller box. And that was a big problem for me was that there's a glut of inventory. Like it just the sales experiences weren't consistent. Like it didn't make sense. So I think I'm kind of impressed. I'm going to give Tony Spring a little bit of a boost here and say like this
Hmm.
is a very Amazon move of them. Like this isn't
Yeah.
working. We're cutting it out. Even though we invested a bunch of money, we told everybody we were going to, this was our strategy. Like, we can't make money off the backstage stores. The small format Macy's isn't working. Like, they're going to have to try to course correct and make those tough decisions right now if they want to survive as a brand. So, uh,
Yeah.
Not surprised, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's kind of it's probably a smart move, but it's not a move that makes me feel any better about the trajectory. That's the
For a
thing. And
hundred
I
percent agree.
right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's got to be more going. I still like I think that I really think that Macy's just needs to sit down, take a hard look at what the future of Macy's needs to be, and then start acting on it, and even start consolidating, I think, some of the larger Macy's footprints too, to really figure out what makes the most economical sense and
Well,
what the new customer wants.
it's interesting too because he came out yesterday and said he said I think on stage at NRF even he said like we believe in having three brands. He doesn't want to spin them off. You know, he
Yep.
wants it when and I actually think we've talked about it before, but I think Bloomie's as a small store strategy makes a ton of sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, but the other point I make too, Ann, before we move on, is we interviewed Joe Call, their head
Yep.
of assets protection,
Yeah.
and great guy, learned a
Oh,
ton.
so brilliant.
Great interview to hear his perspective, particularly on putting products behind glass. It was really interesting to listen to. But the thing I got listening to him, I was just like, man, department stores are just so hard and so outdated. You've got multiple entrances you've got to guard. You've got split levels at most of these stores. Like it's just kind of the dinosaur in a lot of ways.